Most plants need nutrition, and that nutrition comes from the soil. Most organic nutrients come from the soil. Now, if that is not right, then everything stops working. When you consider natural elements, earth, besides fire, air, space, metal, wood, earth is very, very important. And why is it so important? Because nothing will grow if there is no earth. Nothing will grow. Everything needs to anchor somewhere. You need to anchor somewhere. Trees, roots, they all need to anchor somewhere. Plants, they all need to anchor somewhere. And earth is like that anchor. It's the foundation of your being. Like in nature, even in an aquascape, the soil or the substrate layer, what we call earth in nature, here the substrate layer is the foundation of your aquascape. If your earth layer or substrate layer is perfect, then your ecosystem or the aquascape survives for a very long time, grows superbly healthy. It gives you the result that you want. There are a lot of speculations on how to use a substrate layer. This is one of those methods that works for me, and I believe it will work for you. Today we are going to do 2-3 things. One, I'll show you how to set up a substrate layer and why each and every ingredient we use is extremely important. Additionally, we will be introducing to you some very new products that are all Indian made. So get ready. Get your books and papers and pens ready, take notes, and I'm telling you, this is going to be an extremely insightful video for you where you are going to understand the best aspects of a substrate layer or the earth in your aquascape. Now, ideally in this stage of your aquascape journey, you should know exactly what you are going to create or what your aquascape is going to be, and you should have tried a mock hardscape by now, correct? And then you know, okay, what is the height of your substrate layer depending on your aquascape. This is a 4 by 1.5 by 1.5 aquarium, that is 120 centimeter by 45 centimeter by 45 centimeter length, breadth, height, and we are going to create a beautiful natural aquascape in this, which depicts a huge tree that after many centuries fell into the water and is continuing to give life to the creatures in the water. So the whole aquascape is called everlasting life because as long as the tree was alive, it was giving life to a lot of things. Oxygen that we breathe, nests and other things for animals, holes where small squirrels could, grow their family, so on and so forth. And after it died, it is still giving life to a lot of creatures, but now underwater. Now that's our story. You can actually look at this mock hardscape that we have created and you'll get an idea of what my imagination for this can be. You cannot be 100% sure until I tell you what plants I'm going to use, but that is in another video. Now what we are going to do is set up the substrate layer or earth. Step 1 in the process of setting up your substrate layer is choosing the right ingredient. Here the ingredients are soil, a lower substrate layer below the soil, and any other ingredient that would be required to enhance your substrate layer like bacteria or any additive that will improve the quality of your substrate ecosystem. Now remember, the substrate itself is an independent ecosystem because you have bacteria growing there, you need a lot of oxygenation, you need water circulation, and that has to be healthy. If it's not healthy, it becomes your root cause, pun intended, root cause of all your algae issues and a bad aquascape. So here we are going to use Indica Aquarium Soil. Indica Aquarium Soil is manufactured by Aquarium Products India, which is our company, and this is the only 100% Indian made aquarium soil. Okay, and this is what we are going to use in this aquarium, and I'm going to tell you what other ingredients we are going to use. Indica soil comes in 3 sizes, which is going to be 9 liters, 5 liters and 3 liters. All Indica soil packets will come with an Indica additive, which is like this. I'll tell you the benefit of this. Then we have the special substrate, which generally comes in 2 liters. and it comes in small, medium and large depending on the height of your tank. Again, I'll explain. And with the substrate, you get root boost complementary. It comes within the substrate, it's inside the bag, but here just to show, I've kept it outside. Root boost is an amazing combination of bacteria and a couple of other ingredients which I will show you clearly, which will help the root growth in your substrate. Any good substrate layer is 4 different parts. First, that is just above the glass, on top of the glass. The first thing you will add is your special substrate and the bacteria. So you can either add the bacteria first or the special substrate on top of that, or you can add the special substrate and add the bacteria on top of that, not an issue. But generally in my process, I always add the bacteria first. So that is what we are going to start with, and I will explain to you every step in detail. Now, root boost is a very unique combination of 4 independent ingredients. So how to add this, I'll show you. Come. Root boost comes with, like I said, 4 individual ingredients. Bacteria, which is called Bacter Plus. This is about 60 different kinds of bacteria that is very, very important for the substrate layer. Then comes the Electro Plus. Electro Plus is basically a carbon element that will wake up the dormant bacteria. When the bacteria is in a powder form and water touches it, certain bacteria will wake up immediately on the action of water or when they become wet. But certain bacteria are still sleeping and they need an electric charge to wake them up. It's like a tap on the shoulder. Keep, boss, wake up. So that's what Electro Plus does. The next is CarboFit Plus. Again, a carbon element, which is basically food for the bacteria. Any living organism after a long slumber, and if it wakes up, it needs food, and that's what CarboFit Plus does. It provides the initial food for the bacteria, which is very, very important, because hungry bacteria will not reproduce and they will not colonize. They will just die. So you need food for the bacteria, and that's what CarboFit Plus does. The final and most important ingredient is Root Boost Plus. Now this is an amazing ingredient which actually helps the roots or the micro roots to grow very fast. Root Boost Plus is based on a poucher system, a German concept that is used in agriculture to help roots grow faster. Now here we use different kinds of plants, tissue culture plants, immersed plants, submerged plants. And what should happen first? In the soil, as soon as you put the plant, quickly you need the roots to grow, because if the roots grow well, then the plant grows well, it transforms well, it becomes beautiful. So something to help the root grow faster, Root Boost Plus. And that combination of things is called Root Boost Plus, right? Now let's add this. Ideally, 1 packet of Root Boost Plus is enough for a 60 centimeter tank, which is 60, 30, 36, ideal. 60 centimeters, 30 centimeters, 36 centimeters, which is a 60 liter tank also. Now, this is a 120 centimeter tank and it's 45 centimeters wide. So ideally, I would use anywhere from 2 to 4 packets, ideal being 3 packets. Why? Because then you can spread it out evenly, and in every corner of the tank you have ample amount of bacteria, helping the bacteria to colonize faster. Now these 4 ingredients can be added in any format. You can add whichever one first you want. You can choose in pin, safety pin, in pin, out, and add it, no problem. There is no particular rule as to what needs to be added first. So just go ahead and add it. That's important. Now there is a technique as to what you need to do while adding it. Let me show you that. Now the technique is pretty simple. It's not a complicated technique. I don't want to see any bacteria or anything in the front of the tank. This is an aesthetic approach. I don't want to see any bacteria spots or anything like that. So ideally what you will do is you will use anything, or maybe even just by visual, you'll keep about 4 finger space here, and then you will add the bacteria more towards the back. So now I'm adding the bacteria onto the glass. Now this is 1 packet. Like I said, I'm adding more. So this is 1. Then we'll add the Electro Plus. Next we'll add the CarboFit Plus, and finally we will add the Root Boost Plus. Now I'm adding this directly onto the tank. Now you can see the difference in color of all these ingredients, and I have ample amount of space here, so I'm actually adding it more towards the back. Now you can come till here, that's not a problem, but ideally you want all of this in the back area. We've added 1 packet, we're adding 2 more. Okay. The next step is adding the substrate layer. Okay, we've added the bacteria. and everything the bacteria needs. Now the next step is the substrate layer. Substrate layer is basically a pumice based ingredient which is extremely porous. Now we call it special substrate because it's extremely special. Special in the sense because it makes your soil special. It makes your ecosystem special. Because without that one special substrate layer, you start getting issues like blue-green algae because there's lack of bacteria in the soil. Most of your tanks, you will see the front, you will see blue-green algae on the soil, which is not good, because that means the soil does not have enough bacteria in it, or the soil is getting old. Initially it was great, but later it started deteriorating. So the substrate layer kind of increases the life of your soil and the life of your ecosystem and the life of your aquascape. So ideally, if you just add soil, the life of your soil is about 1 to 2 years. But if you add a good special substrate, then the life of the soil can go up to 3 years. So like I said, here we are using Aquarium Products India Plant Right series special substrate. Now our whole substrate series is called the Plant Right series because you have to plant right, so you have to have the right substrate, and the right substrate will make a beautiful aquascape or create a beautiful ecosystem. Here we are using the Plant Right series special substrate, and I am going to use about 6 liters of a medium size substrate. Why medium size is because I have a height of 1.5 feet, which is 45 centimeters. So this will be ideal. Why I am using 6 liters? Because I need a certain amount of height. Okay, if I need more height, I will use more. Each bag is 2 liters and is good for a 60 liter tank. This is a 120 centimeter and a 240 liter tank. So I will probably use 6 to 8 liters, again depending on how much height I need at the back and my aquascape. But ideally you will use 3 packets or 6 liters. We have now added about 4 liters and I'm trying to keep it to the back. I don't want any of this dust or anything in the front, and I'm going to keep this to the back. Now let's add a little more. Special substrate comes in 3 sizes: small, medium and large. They're all 2 liters. Now small comes in a 1 liter pack also, so you can use for a 30 centimeter tank or a small tank. Now let me show you the sizes of the special substrate: small, medium and large. This is small, this is medium, and this is large. Now see, you can clearly see the difference in size. Now why should they be different? Small size substrate is used for any tank that is 1 feet tall, because you can't use more than that. There is a certain height that your plants will grow. There is a certain height that your soil can take in a 1 feet tank, because in a 1 feet tank you'll probably use 3 inches of soil, whereas in a 1.5 feet tank you'll probably use 6 inches of soil at the back. So you need a medium. Now if you're using a 2 feet tank, then your substrate has to be slightly larger. And because your height of the tank goes up to 2 feet, you're probably using 8 inches of soil. So you need more substrate space, or you need more surface area for bacteria colonization. What else does the substrate do? Like I said, very important, bacteria colonization. Very, very important. Additionally, it anchors the roots. Basically, it makes an area for roots to go and anchor themselves. They can go and hold on to something. So that is an important point. And thirdly, when you are adding it to the back, it also gives height to the soil. So it increases the height of the substrate layer from the back. Now, why should the substrate layer be tall at the back and slant towards the front? It's a very aesthetic point. I'll explain to you as soon as we put the soil. Now, in a large tank, if you feel you want to use large, medium and small size substrate, you can go ahead and use it. There is no problem. You can combine 2 sizes, no problem. End of the day, you want a larger surface area for bacteria colonization. You want a good, stable foundation for your substrate, which the special substrate gives you. And finally, you want the correct height depending on your aquascape. Now, very, very important, we are going to add the soil, but before adding the soil, we are going to add another superb ingredient which you need to understand. It's brand new, nobody in the world has tried it, and this is for the first time we are having this in India, or actually in the world. Okay, this concept for aquariums is the first time, so dhyan dena. So watch carefully. Now, the next ingredient that we are going to use is the Indica additives. Very important ingredient. Indica additives is a blue color. It's a natural blue color. See, it's a natural blue color. And it comes inside the Indica soil bag. it comes free. It's called Indica Additives, and there are some amazing functions that it has. I'll show you how to add it and I'll tell you the functions. So let's add this first. With every bag, you will get a packet of additives. Immaterial, whether it's a 9 kg bag or a 3 kg bag or a 5 kg bag, you will get additives. Additives need to be added below the soil and above the substrate. Indica additive is an extremely unique product. It creates a symbiotic relationship between stronger plants and weaker plants. Indica additive is based on a MYCORRIZAE mycelium concept. Now, this has been there forever. Okay, people have known about it forever. They've used it in agriculture. It basically increases the amount of roots growth, and this MYCORRIZAE grows among the roots of larger plants, communicating with other plants also. So if there is a very old tree that has excess nutrients, then this MYCORRIZAE communicates with weaker trees and also tells the older tree to share nutrients with the weaker tree. Now, this concept has never been used in aquariums. This is for the first time that anybody has used it, and I believe this is going to be a game changer in the aquarium industry, and especially so that you can have amazingly looking aquascapes. Now, this is the Indica additives. So we are adding the Indica additives on top of the special substrate. Add it all across the tank. Like I said, Indica additives comes free with the soil. Okay, so first remove the additives packet, add it, and then we will add the soil. Here I'm probably going to use about 3 bags of soil, each bag being 9 liters. So I'll be adding 3 bags of soil, okay, which is about what, 27 liters or something like that. And I'll get 3 packets of additive. So I'll add all 3 packets to it, okay, no problem. Each packet again is designed to go for a 60-liter tank, because 1 bag of 9 liter soil is designed for a 60-liter tank, ideal for a 60-liter tank. So 1 packet for 60 liter. Here I'm going to use 3 bags of soil, so 3 packets of additive. Now again, importantly, I don't want anything here in the front. This piece of additive has come to the front. I don't want it in the front. I'm going to move everything to the back. See, again, I don't want this visible from the front. Again, this is an aesthetic thing. All this goes to the back. I keep saying I don't want anything in the front. I don't want anything in the front. There is an important reason for it. Let's assume that we have a piece of substrate here and we put the soil. Now this is going to look bad from the front. When you look at it from the front, it is going to look very bad. It's going to look very odd also. It's not going to look neat and clean. That's the only reason. We need people to focus on our aquascape, not on all these small faults. Okay, so don't make the faults. Yeah, don't make those mistakes. It takes 2 minutes to kind of clean up. Now we will add the soil, which is our Indicaa soil. Now this is a 9 liter bag of our Indicaa soil, and I'm going to add it here. Indicaa soil is extremely unique because first, it's made in India. Every ingredient, all the machinery, everything that we have used to make this soil is made in India. The soil is from India. It's very unique because it's designed for hobbyists. Okay, you have to understand, it's designed by a hobbyist. So we try to incorporate or solve all the problems that hobbyists have. First and foremost thing, this does not leach ammonia. There will be very, very minimal algae issues. Though Indica soil is extremely nutritious, the nutrition doesn't get wasted on algae. If you plant properly, then your tank will be amazing, plants will grow beautifully, you will have very little algae issues. Every hobbyist wants good red color in his aquarium. Indica soil helps you with that. Every aquascape or aquarium or ecosystem requires an ideal pH of about 6.5. It buffers pH and KH in the water. If you have Indica soil in your tank, it buffers both of the pH and KH. So making it very, very good for shrimp and all kinds of fish, besides the fact that it has ample amount of nutrition for the plant growth. Now, we've added root boost in the bottom for micro root growth. Now, the soil actually works in combination with the bacteria, the root boost, the additive, giving the environment the correct nutrition it needs to grow. But it also makes the water ideal for the fish and shrimp. Okay, by buffering the pH and KH. Now, unique soil and best for Indian condition. What you need to do, follow my videos and I'll tell you how to use it best. So chalo, let's add the soil. So now we'll add the soil. I have soil in plain packets because it's my own production, and I'm going to add it from the front. Adding the soil from the front is very, very important, and I'll tell you why. The reason for adding soil from the front is so that you can first level out the front and see what you need at the back. Now, suppose I pour from the back, this substrate can come front and it can spoil my whole aesthetic look. So, what we will do is, we will first level out the front to the level we need, and then move the excess soil to the back. We will move this to the back. Now the front, I am going to use about 1 inch of soil, 1 to 1.5 inch of soil, because I plan to use a carpet plant like Monte Carlo or something. You can go up to 2 inches, not a problem. So 1.5 to 2 inches. Now this is my first step. I am going to add another bag of soil, move it again, and then balance it out. Now we are adding the second bag of soil, and this bag of soil you will add in the central area of the tank. That is between the first bag of soil and your special substrate. Again, making sure that the special substrate does not get exposed and you have an even incline towards the back of the tank. So now see, our front is leveled, no tension, and slowly we move the rest of the soil to the back. Now it's very important that your special substrate is completely covered. You don't want to expose the special substrate above the soil. It has to be completely covered. Take your time and make sure that there is a proper level to the soil from front to back. So right now we have about 1 inch in the front, going back to about 3 to 4 inches at the back. We want this level. We want this inclination. We want this leveling to happen in our tank. Now here you can clearly see our substrate, okay, and the soil on top. Now I'll tell you what else to be done. Chalo. Now I said we are going to use 3 bags of soil, okay, 3 9-liter bags, but I've only used 2, correct? I've only used 2. Why have I only used 2? Because this is my foundation. This is only my foundation. Now I'll make my hardscape on top of this, and then when behind the hardscape where I have space, I will use the other bag of soil. So this is creating your foundation, making sure your earth is ready for growth. Your substrate layer is perfect. Now that our substrate is set, there is another very important point that I want to share with you, and that is the fertilizer. We created an amazing soil with a lot of organic nutrients in it. To go with it, to complement it, to make it better, we also created a line of fertilizers. It's an amazing process of how you can use the right kind of soil and the right kind of fertilizer to make your aquascape amazingly beautiful. The fertilizer, you only have to use one fertilizer at any given point of time. We have 4 kinds and I'll tell you how it works. The first is start. This is the first fertilizer you will use, and the only thing that you'll use for the first 15 days, 0 to 15 days. It will basically help cycle the tank and help the plants to transform. The next you will use for 15 to 75 days. Again, only one bottle, no other fertilizer required. You will use for 15 to 75 days. It is called grow, which is the second step. We call it step 1 because this is step 0. You start at 0, then you grow for the next 60 days. That's 15 to 75 days where you improve the main root growth and new leaf growth. Then you move to boost, which is for 75 to 165 days, between 75 and 165 days. That is 90 days, where the roots, the stem and the leaves become stronger and better, and now they start getting beautiful color. And finally, you enjoy. Basically, you enjoy for however long you want to keep your aquascape. So at any given point of time, it's only one fertilizer. This is called the Good Grow series. Plant Right series gives you all the substrate. Good Grow series gives you all the fertilizers and improves growth. I will let you know in a bit how you can get the soil and the fertilizer and all of that. I'll let you know very soon. Yet important for you to understand that soil has only organic nutrients. An aquascape needs organic and inorganic nutrients. Now, we went through this whole confusion most of the hobbyists had where they were trying to use 3, 4, 5 different kinds of fertilizers in one tank. Iron separate, nitrogen separate, potassium separate. All of these are separate bottles. You're not sure how much to use. We've taken care of that problem. And we've given you one variety for X number of days. Use just that and it will take care of your tank and give you perfect growth. Now, my research team told me that even if CO2 is not used, your tank will grow beautifully because our fertilizers have something called a bioavailable carbon. But I personally suggest you use CO2. Then you will get better results. Quick recap. Here we are using Aquarium Products India special substrate, root boost that comes free with the special substrate. We are using Indica Aquarium Soil and additives that come with the soil. Now, these are 4 key elements to having a proper substrate layer. A lot of research has gone behind making these products and how to use these products. Most of the research is dependent on the needs, requirements, problems of regular planted aquarium hobbyist. We have tried to solve or give solutions to all of your problems, but that does not mean you can do everything wrong and get good results. The key to any planted aquarium is to plant heavily. We'll talk about it in our upcoming videos. All the members that are watching this video, please note that you can get this set at a discounted price because you are members. You will be able to get this from our team and somebody will message you on your WhatsApp number. You can start using this in your aquascape. All of you planted aquarium hobbyists who are watching this video are now thinking, where can I get Indicaa soil and how soon can I get it? We plan to launch it in about 30 days from now, which is somewhere around the first week of July. Okay, that is when we will be launching this. Product is ready and that is the time it will be available in the market for you to buy. It will be available on multiple online and offline platforms. We'll keep you informed, but till then, be patient. Now, if you're not patient, here is a number. WhatsApp on this number and say you're interested and you can book the soil. So once it is ready for launch, we will send you the details. And of course, if you book early, you'll surely get something extra. There will be a benefit. So you can always book your soil on this number. We have done our best to give you an amazing soil. Now it's up to you guys to use it and make the best of your planted aquarium hobby. Okay, this said, I hope that this video was very useful to you and you learned some basics of how to create a proper substrate layer. I'll catch up with you soon. Until then, from me, Assistant Director Pooja Madam, my whole team, thank you, Namaste, Khudafiz, Shabakher and Sat Sri Akal. We'll meet you soon, very soon, with the whole launch plan and how soon you can get the soil. If you are a member of my Aquascaping Masterclass and if you're a member on my YouTube channel, then you will see the next steps of how we aquascape this tank. What hardscape we are going to use, how we are going to use it, what we are going to do, what are the techniques of hardscaping. So if you're interested, you can quickly join as a member, right? Chalo, bye.